Hey, what's good? Coach Colin Castelli here with ShotMechanics Basketball, and today I'm going to go over the #1 key to getting recruited to play college basketball. Now, if you're watching this video, odds are you're wanting to be the best you can be. And odds are that you probably want to play college basketball and then move on to pro, right? That's kind of the natural progression that all basketball players want to take. But the issue is a lot of times kind of the recruiting process can be super confusing and a little bit kind of convoluted, and it's tough to figure out exactly what you need to do to get recruited. Now, a lot of players just assume that recruiting happens to them and there's nothing that they can really do about it, right? They kind of assume that #1, coaches are going to come find them and contact them, and #2, that they're just going to have all these schools that are kind of hovering over wanting to sign them to scholarships. But the issue is that's not really how it works. If you're like that really top like 5-star recruit, it might work like that. But for most players like me and kind of your average pretty good player in high school, to get recruited, it's gonna take a lot of legwork on your part. And so the #1 key to getting recruited, other than your actual playing ability, is your communication. Being able to communicate with college coaches, find them, talk to them, get them to see you play, that's the hard part. And that's the part that a lot of players don't understand is super important. Because how are you gonna get recruited if a coach has never heard of you, never talked to you, or never seen you play? It's pretty much impossible. So step #1 to communication for getting recruited is to target your schools. Now, sure, we'd all love to play at Duke and Kentucky and North Carolina, those powerhouse programs, right? But unless you're a mega athlete or super crazy skilled, it just probably isn't gonna happen. So what you need to do is realistically target what schools you think you'll be able to go to. That might be the NAIA level, the D3 level, JUCO, whatever it is. You wanna target the schools that you wanna go to first. That might be because you like the program, or you like the coach, or you think it'd be a great school to go to. Now, once you've targeted your schools, this is where the communication becomes really important. Now, back in the day when I was growing up, this was almost impossible, right? You had to search the internet for coaches' email addresses. Most of the time they wouldn't respond because they get a ton of emails. You'd have to try to find the assistant coach's emails. You'd try to track them down on Twitter, like all that sort of stuff. And it was really hard. But nowadays there's some sweet tools that you can use in your recruiting process to make this super streamlined and a lot easier. And so it's this reason alone why I decided to bring on Captain U as our official ShotMechanics recruiting partner, because it's the perfect tool for this day and age to get in contact with coaches and help get you on the radar so you can get a scholarship. So my boys at Captain U are doing you a solid. So if you click the link down below or the button above, they're gonna allow you to sign up for a free athlete profile. No credit card required. All you gotta do is you go in, you can put your picture, you can put highlights, you can put your GPA, you can put the major that you want to major in. That way, once you're communicating with college coaches, they know exactly who you are, the type of person you are, and if you fit inside of their team. Now, the profile is 100% free that you can send out to college coaches. But what I highly recommend is the upgraded option, because that allows you to contact directly with college coaches inside of the Captain U platform. It's awesome. It's mind-blowing. It would have saved me hundreds of hours when I was going through the recruiting process myself. So I highly recommend you check that out. All right, to make it even better for you, on the 1st of every month, I'm going to send out my #1 shooting workout absolutely free to those people who have signed up for a membership at Captain U. That way, we're going to get your jumper on ice, exactly what college coaches want to see, and you're going to have that free recruiting profile. All right, so now that you've targeted some schools, there's also some great ways to communicate with your programs even more. I highly recommend trying to go to summer camps, whether they be skill or team camps at whatever college it is you want to go to. A lot of times these colleges have their assistant coaches, and those are kind of the guys that are in charge of the recruiting process. And those are the people that you want to get in well with. So let's say you're going to a small college in your local town, you want to go to their skill camp so then the coaches can get to see you, they get to know you, and then that way you're on their radar right away. Now, another huge factor is anytime you're communicating with a college coach, whether that be the head coach or the assistant coach, you need to not be shy or bashful, right? If you're shy and you can't sell yourself, it's going to be really hard to get that scholarship that you want, because we're kind of living in a day and age where you have to be able to talk about your own game and be confident in your abilities. So if you get really shy anytime a coach comes around and you kind of hole up into your shell, it's going to be really hard to show what you can got and communicate with them when you're trying to put yourself out there and sell yourself to their program. So when you do get to talk to a college coach, it's really important that #1, you look them in the eye when you're talking to them. #2, give them a nice firm handshake. And #3, be confident in your abilities and kind of sell yourself as you're in the conversation. Because remember, getting a scholarship is a long-term game plan, right? It just doesn't happen overnight. You've kind of got to hustle your way into a scholarship most of the time. So just in this first interaction, you're just laying the groundwork with the coach, kind of showing them that you might be a good fit. Maybe your skills are going to work for their program, but it's that long term down the line, and those first impressions mean a ton. So again, I can't stress enough, overall communication is the #1 most important aspect of landing a scholarship other than your actual skill, right? You've got to target what schools you want to go to. You've got to communicate with the coaches via online. Highly recommend Captain U. And then you also need to get in person with them, shake hands, look them in the eye, communicate further on down the line as you progress and you develop. And if you can do that, you have a really good shot of at least getting on a coach's radar, and that's the first step and the hardest part of the battle. So don't forget to get that free profile down below from Captain U, no credit card required. And if you're new to ShotMechanics, hit that subscribe button because we put out videos every week and they're all gonna make you better as a player, I guarantee it. Again, I'm Coach Colin Castello with ShotMechanics Basketball. Thanks for watching, and until next time, splash on.